Dr. Wente, here we are on Wake's campus. When you even thought about this school, you already had a dream job. Why did you take the call? Why did you come to Wake?
Well, in part, I was called to take that next step to lead a university, but it had to be the right university. It had to be a university that embraced academic excellence. And I knew the reputation of Wake Forest. So that was very, very logical, clear to me that this could be a place for me. But it was also, I felt that I could have an impact. So, part of my journey in leadership is this focus on creating environments where others can discover their passions and thrive. And when I looked at where Wake Forest was and all of its potential, I could see opportunities where I could bring my background and my experience and we could do great things together.
And once you were inside, what was the surprise?
Well, the other thing I was really looking for was an institution that aligned with my values. So in terms of character, integrity, a commitment to the people. And I had read about the motto, Pro Humanitate, and I'd been at many other institutions that either I didn't know their mottos or they didn't have a motto. So what surprised me is when I got here, that motto, For Humanity, was really embraced by everyone. Maybe it shouldn't have been surprising, but it was such a part of Wake Forest that I will never forget, kind of that realization of it's real.
How do you bring that to the students, putting humanity first? At a place where academic excellence is the top priority, that often gets lost in the competitive grind.
Yeah, it has to be woven into everything you do, so it can't just be a convocation speech. It can't just be on the banners. It has to be woven into every aspect of their experience, from when they arrive on campus in terms of seeing role models who are embracing it, from when they're in the classroom, having faculty speaking to it, and it's also reinforced through our traditions. So there's ways that you can ensure that this legacy of being for humanity continues.
You also really doubled down here on science and research. That is your background, but for those who don't know, why is science and research such an important part of what makes Wake Wake?
Research and scholarship and creative expression makes teaching better. And in the same way, your teaching makes your research and your scholarship and your creative expression better. So learning and discovery are intimately connected. I felt that when I was going through my own education, being able to take part in discovery, being able to take part in creating new knowledge, and being able to take part in solving problems. In part, my focus on how do we make investments in all aspects of research and scholarship and creative expression is due to wanting to offer students those other learning opportunities and wanting to really support our teacher-scholar model.
And you're doing that with undergrads. Oftentimes people think that research happens at the graduate level. How have you changed that here?
Well, our focus is on the undergraduates. They are a majority of our population, and we only have PhD programs in the sciences. So our faculty are intensely focused on the undergraduates. And you create those opportunities by actually investing resources, and whether that's summer research opportunities, internships, thinking about it broadly in terms of even how you take a study away experience to be a learning opportunity or a research and scholarship opportunity. So just like Pro Humanitate has to be part of everything we do, thinking about how you are a scholar and a learner needs to be part of everything that we do.
People don't necessarily connect happiness, kindness, empathy with academic excellence, but that is Wake. What makes Wake this happy campus at a time when in culture, in society, people are worried that there's a crisis of loneliness or unhappiness? That's not the case on this campus.
It doesn't happen on its own. So it is intentional, and that comes from people really being able to engage. So how do you create opportunities for students to get to know each other? How do you create opportunities in the classroom, in the residential life? How do you encourage difficult conversations, but then also at the same time encourage that empathy? I mean, it's been a long part of Wake Forest's history. Our late Provost Ed Wilson, friendliness and honor. This is, through the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. So it's not a new thing, but it's fragile. I'm just incredibly grateful for our faculty and our staff and our current students who embody that culture and help our new students really further embrace it.
With that gratitude comes sort of excitement and optimism for the future. What are you most excited about when you think about Wake's future?
Oh, well, I mean, it is, what will our people do? What will all of our alumni do? What will our faculty discover or create? How will they, really continue to be leaders and thought partners across, all aspects of society? But in essence, it comes back to just hearing those individual stories of how people are being successful. That's what I want to see even more of in the future.
That's the inside of Wake, but 5 years from now, will this place look different when we think about the grounds project?
Well, we have alumni who come back now for homecoming and they'll be like, that building wasn't here, that building wasn't here. So, universities are places that continue to evolve and continue to invest in their spaces and places. But the grounds is definitely a project which is going to be transformative for Winston-Salem and for our Wake Forest community. So 5 years from now, you'll be able to walk from Reynolda Village, all the way through campus, all the way to, McCreary Football Tower. It's a vision for bringing more economic opportunity to the city, but also for our students, faculty, and staff to have green spaces to enjoy, but dining and housing and really a
college students like to gather and like to socialize.
That's right. Gathering grounds.
When we talk about evolving, your role here is going to evolve. You're certainly not retiring, you are shifting into a new phase.
My first priority is on a successful transition. So ensuring that, I am here to assist in any way. And then for myself, I'm gonna take a sabbatical.
Hearing that you're going on sabbatical, I'd like to join you. I could use it, Thank you.
I haven't had a sabbatical in my entire academic career. So in part, the first thing I'm gonna do is be sure I recharge, but then, I want time to really be able to think about some special problems and some special issues that I can't necessarily focus on as intently right now when I'm leading the university. One of those is how do we build trust in science? So you referred to, myself being a scientist. I think in terms of where I am in my career and the connections and networks I have, this crisis of trust in science is something that many are trying to address, but I'd like to study it further and think about new ways we could potentially rebuild that trust. I don't have the solution. I might be coming to you.
What's your favorite thing about Wake?
Well, it is the people. I mean, the why. Why do you get up every day and do this? Why?
It's also really beautiful.
It is very
it's hard
beautiful.
not to like it.
Even on a cool spring day like this, there is not a day I don't walk onto this campus and really feel grateful for the opportunity to have led this university. And always it will be the memories of the place and the people within it.
Well, I am grateful to have this opportunity to walk with you today.
Thank you
so much.